Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are broadcasting live from Abuja. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Resident doctors strike end in sight as federal government commits to implementing agreements. "15 more students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School, Kaduna, regain freedom from bandits." National unity. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo calls for more citizen commitment. Yusuf Buhari's wedding ceremony wraps up with a grand reception in Abuja. And now the news in detail. The ongoing nationwide strike by resident doctors is likely to be suspended soon, as the federal government has promised to start implementing the new agreements reached at an all-stakeholders meeting aimed at resolving the doctors' strike. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngigi, confirmed this while reading a memorandum of understanding with all stakeholders at the conciliatory meeting. Olusheye Adiagbo reports.
It is about 21 days since the National Association of Resident Doctors began an indefinite strike over non-implementation of agreements. The meeting, which started about 3 p.m. on Friday and later adjourned in the early hours of Saturday before reconvening in the afternoon same day and lasted till the late night, came up with a new memorandum of understanding.
But we now expect the NMA and NAD to use this as a plank to consult their members with a view to calling off the strike urgently, so we can save the lives that are now being lost unnecessarily.
All the actors signed the agreement except the National Association of Resident Doctors, NAD. NAD representative equally refused to give reasons for declining to sign when approached by journalists. Ngigi, however, reacted to what transpired and other issue on the no work, no pay rule.
NAD pleaded with us to consult their members on an item which they want us to include in the conditions of the memorandum of understanding. We have inserted our clause that nobody will be victimized for any activity connected with, for or against participating in the industrial action.
As it is now, since all the stakeholders have signed, it is hoped that in coming days, the strike will be over. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
15 students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School, Kaduna, who regained freedom from bandit captivity Sunday morning, have been reunited with their families. Haruna Muhammad reports.
In company of the President Baptist Convention and other officials, they arrived at the church secretariat Kaduna. The 15 students bring to 43 the number of kidnapped students who have regained freedom from the bandits since their abduction from the school about 2 months ago.
In everything, God says we should give thanks, and we are giving thanks for what He has done, and we are trusting that the same God who has brought these 15 out is going to help us to receive the other 63.
We want to thank God for well-wishers, relatives, and the Church of God who actually have been supporting to see that our children are being released.
Efforts have been intensified to secure the release of the remaining students. A total of 121 of the students were abducted by bandits on July 5. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Meanwhile, troops of the Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF Sector 3 Monguno, Borno State on routine patrol along Gajiram have eliminated 4 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists at Gambari axis. A statement by the Chief of Military Public Information, MNJTF headquarters in Jamena, Chad, Colonel Muhammad Doli, indicates that the terrorists were neutralized when they attempted to ambush the troops of the MNJTF. Colonel Doli notes that several arms and drugs were recovered from the criminals. Similarly, the Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force, Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim, has stressed determination to ensure that remnants of the Islamic State in West African province ISWAP and elements of the Boko Haram group are rooted out of the Lake Chad basin. The commander gave the charge while on operational visit to formations under his command. He was at the Force Sector 3 headquarters in Monguno, Borno State, Sector 1 in Moura, Cameroon, and Sector 2 in Bagasola, Chad, where he was accompanied by principal staff officers from all the participating countries. Major General Ibrahim expresses renewed commitment to taking the fight to the enclaves of the terrorists to hasten the end of the conflict. And for more on security matters still, the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, says repentant Boko Haram members will be handled in line with international conventions, which makes them prisoners of war. The minister gave the indication during an interview in Washington, D.C., the United States. Anthony Folson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister, who is in Washington, D.C., United States of America, for an engagement with international media organizations and think tanks, said President Muhammadu Buhari's confidence in the Nigerian military is a testimony of the successes being recorded in the fight against terrorism, banditry, and other criminal elements.
We must not forget that a few months ago, Nigerians were putting pressure on Mr. President to recruit mercenaries to fight the war, thinking that we were losing the war. Mr. President remained focused in his belief and confidence in the Nigerian military that they have what it takes to defeat the insurgents. We thank God that Mr. President today has been proven right. But we're not stopping there. The military will continue to pursue Boko Haram ISWAP until they can no longer be harmful to Nigerians. And we have been able to achieve this largely because of the leadership of Mr. President and, of course, the ability to also provide the wherewithal continuously to the military.
For those who are calling for punishment to be meted out to repentance, the minister said that won't be the way forward, just as they cannot be integrated into the military or any security agency.
What the military is doing, you surrender, they profile you to ensure that truly what you have said it is true, and then after that they will think about what to do with you. But there's nowhere in the world that people will surrender and now you just shoot them. And the military never said they are going to engage into the Nigerian army or Nigerian police, those who have surrendered to them. It's this negativity that is harming Nigeria.
Lai Mohammed assured that with what is unfolding, the end to this criminality is closer. In Washington, D.C., Anthony Folson, NTA News.
Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force working with the Nigerian military and other security forces have arrested a 22-year-old female suspect, one Gloria Okoli, for her alleged complicity in the series of deliberate and well-coordinated attacks on security formations and other critical national infrastructure, including the INEC offices and the killing of security operatives in the southeastern part of the country. A statement by the force indicates that the suspect, a native of Umutanza in Imo State, was arrested following investigations and implementation of Operation Restore Peace. Police investigations reveal that Gloria, the suspect, who is a member of IPOB ESN in Imo State, worked closely with one Benjamin Uzoma Emojiri, ESN commander, earlier declared wanted by the police for his role in planning, coordinating and executing attacks on the Imo State Police Command headquarters and Imo State headquarters of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Ali Baba, has applauded the security operatives for their unrelenting fight against violent crimes in the country and assures citizens of the commitment of the force to improving public safety and security in the country. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has apprehended a major drug dealer wanted for attempted export of 69.65 kilograms of cocaine, heroin and cannabis to the United Kingdom through the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. The suspect was arrested in Ojodu, Ikeja area of Lagos State. Similarly, an Italy-bound passenger was arrested on an Ethiopian Airways flight to Italy via Addis Ababa for ingesting illicit drugs, which the suspect under observation excreted about 68 wraps of heroin weighing 800 grams. Other illicit substances intercepted include 1.66 kilograms of meth concealed in bolts and locally made footwear going to Australia, 1 kilogram of cocaine coming from Ghana, and the arrest of a South African returnee with 58 grams of skunk. At least 2,504.8 kilograms of diverse illicit drugs have been seized from multiple suspects in the past week. This is News at 10, live on NTA News 24. There will be more reports after this break. Stay tuned.
1933, when it began operations as Motor Transport Union, till it was restructured under Decree 21 and 22 of 1978, later amended by Decree 1 of 1999 and published in the Official Gazette No. 6, Volume 65 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria has contributed immensely to the development of Nigeria's economy. As a union backed by law, RTAN, under the pragmatic leadership of Alhaji Musa Mohammed, is set to play its role in the transformation and reformation of the transportation sector. With a well-established structure in Nigeria's 774 local government areas and about 10 million membership strength, Alhaji Musa Mohammed is poised to lead RTAN into productive partnership with government at all levels to ensure your comfort. RTAN, the mover of the nation's economy, is committed to making Nigeria a better place for all. For more information, visit www.rtan.org.ng. Uproad Super!
Thanks for staying tuned. We begin on a light note that activities marking the marriage between Yusuf Muhammadu Buhari and Zara Nasiru Ado Bayero were rounded off this Sunday with a formal reception in honor of the new couple. Both father of the groom, President Muhammadu Buhari, and that of the bride, Emir Nasiru Ado Bayero of Bichi Emirate, attended the event. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The new couple, Yusuf and Zara, were indeed the synergy of all eyes as they walked majestically to their seats. The glamorous event at the State House Conference Center was a unique opportunity for the invited guests from within and without Nigeria to honor the nation's first family and show solidarity with the newlywed. Amongst them serving and former First Ladies of Nigeria and some African countries, former and serving governors, parliamentarians, ministers, captains of industry, as well as friends and members of the bride and groom's family. The wife of the Vice President, Dolapo Oshibaju, supported by wives of President Adama Barrow of the Gambia and former President Muhammadu Isufu of Niger, gave the toast in honor of the new couple, while the Vice President, Yemi Oshibaju, chaired the event.
This event, of course, you know, is one that many of us have looked forward to for a very long time. So when Yusuf mentioned to me that the day was near, I think many of us were looking forward to also meeting who the beautiful lady would be. As it turns out, he has picked for himself the most beautiful lady in this part of the world.
My advice to you is to be patient. Those who are patient, Allah is with them. You are going to be an example to watch. If you have any problems, don't make it public.
So my beloved Yusuf as well as Zahra, try to be the best husband and try to be the best wife. May this union be the most blessed and whatever is to come from it.
Some of the personalities present lent their voices of goodwill in solidarity with the new couple and indeed the nation's first family.
The things that brought them together, if they can just maintain it and build on it, they'll have a sustainable family life.
Mutual understanding is critical, and absolute forgiveness is necessary to keep the union strong.
First, to congratulate them and to congratulate the parents. They should invite the Almighty Allah into their home.
This marriage has attracted tremendous amount of goodwill across the country, and I thank God that I am here to celebrate this wonderful history.
All Nigerians converge to celebrate with Mr. President. So it's a thing of honor. It's showing that there's unity in this country in spite of our diversity.
President is a very good man, and God has blessed him with a very beautiful family. So I'm very happy for him.
All goes to show that God has so many ways of rewarding a man who has done well. So today, I call on all Nigerians to show more patriotism, high sense of nationalism, so that together, working with Mr. President, the country will finally be salvaged.
Photo opportunity with the Nigerian leader rounds off the colorfully historic and remarkable event. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Now to duties of another kind. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says patriotism, sacrifice and spirit of productivity remain the driving force towards a viable and vibrant nation. And he was amongst dignitaries who graced the family Thanksgiving service of late Pa Arthur Okowa, the father of the governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Austin Edemodu witnessed the service at St. Michael's Anglican Church, Owalero.
This is not the first time the Vice President will be coming to Owalero community here. The first time was in May when he came over to celebrate with the people for the great development, massive development that is happening here at Owalero. And his second coming here is to celebrate with the people for the life of a man, a great man, a man with many names, a man of great title, and the father of the executive governor of the state. His name is Chief Arthur Okowa, who passed on to glory in January this year. Described as a great father, teacher, a thoroughbred progressive politician who was once one of the brains behind the formation of the External Unity Party of Nigeria under late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Late Pa Arthur Okowa is said to be a disciplinarian who lived his life serving God and humanity. As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says, the deceased was a blessing to the church, his community, and the nation.
A father's faithfulness to the education of his own and others, his example of public service with integrity, and his commitment to his faith has given an inheritance that has endured and will, by God's grace, continue to endure. This community, this state, this nation has been blessed by the life of this unassuming teacher from Owalero.
I thank God that that life that he lived impacted not only on my person but upon all my siblings. God preserved him to help me and to see me through the difficult times in politics.
Statesmanship is not a gift. It is earned. They are patriotic, they are sacrificial, they are ready to die for the good of the common people.
From the St. Michael's Anglican Church, Owalero, Delta State, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
That was State House correspondent Jide Onifade and not Austin Edemodu. Now, what could make a man so patriotic to his country despite going through two horrible experiences which ordinarily would discourage him? Oyinaya Kalu Oka in this report takes us on the journey of the life of a man who believes in supporting government efforts at repositioning the country despite all odds.
In Nigeria, it is common to hear people complain in local palace, waiting this government they do for me self. This is to say, what has this government done for me? Forgetting that everyone has a part to play in bringing about development in their own little way. This brings us to the story of a man who has given it all, so to say, in his own little capacity in making sure Nigeria gets better. It is a continuous hard hit under the scorching sun. 65-year-old Daniel Davo from Plateau State voluntarily repairing a section of the road at the police checkpoint in Jikoyi in the FCT.
For this patriotic Nigeria, repairing the roads is his passion. He works 15 hours daily, 6 days a week, repairing community and federal roads in the FCT.
And it's amazing what I see him doing. I wish all Nigerians, or majority of 50% of Nigerians, can do what he's doing.
With soil he gets from a dump site, stones he breaks from rocks, he conveyed the materials in his old rickety car. Getting to speak with him at the site was not possible. He's shy and uncomfortable with the camera. Had to convince him, and he eventually agreed, but the interview had to be done in his house. Daniel Davo was a casual staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in the 80s. Disengaged after 5 years of service, he went into commercial driving, and that was how his interest of repairing roads came about.
Where the government cannot reach, I say, let me touch that area.
He has repaired about 3,000 potholes with his substandard tools.
Some of our community road, he has been the one without being paid him. He has been the one repairing it.
He work at everywhere. Any road that he noticed that the road no good, he do come there and do the road.
In 2020, he was involved in an accident with his car, which got damaged beyond repairs. To keep up with this art, he rents a car for a token.
And funny enough, everybody saw this man in a ditch with the stones at the back of the car that he wanted to use to go and repair a particular road. Nobody stopped to say, this is the man that repairs our road. What happened? What can we do for you?
10 years ago, he lost his pregnant wife, who was attacked by criminals early morning, who monitored his movement when he left his isolated home to fill up the potholes before traffic would build up. Now remarried with 5 children, he has been able to train some of them to higher institutions through the little money he makes from farming.
He has fear of God.
Someday I know that he's going to enjoy the fruit of his labor.
If the government can have mercy and help me with these children, if they can give them job, so that if I'm getting old completely, it is the children that will help me and give me something. That is what I'm begging the government to help me.
How long does he hope to continue with this voluntary service?
I'll try my best. If somebody can volunteer, come, let's join together and make Nigeria great.
His love for the country, the peace and love he gets from his family, he says, encourages him to do more and more.
Thank you, Oyinaya, for that example of change begins with me. Now, history teaches people about their roots, while culture is a way of life of the people. It is against this backdrop that Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State is calling on Nigerians to maintain, preserve, and promote their culture so as to enable them trace their roots. Governor Sani Bello stated this when he visited the Emir of Zazzau, Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, at his palace in Zaria. Governor Sani Bello said he has learned a lot after viewing the historical sites in the palace, stressing that history should be given priority in schools in order to educate the younger generation about their cultures and traditions. He, however, called on other traditional rulers to emulate the Emir of Zazzau in maintaining their rich cultural heritage.
Palace is taking a new shape without having to destroy the entire palace. The feeling of the traditional institution is still there, but you can see it's been cleaned and it's been tidied up. So I hope most of our traditional rulers will will see what is being done here and do the same in their various emirates, because this place, for all I know, can be it's like a museum. I learned so many things today.
The coming of His Excellency, the Governor of Niger State, to this palace is like homecoming.
The Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Nuhu Bamali, who, along with his palace subjects, conducted the governor and members of his entourage round the palace for sightseeing, said Governor Sani Bello's visit was a remarkable one, and explained that it would remain green in their hearts as he expressed happiness that they had reconnected. This is the news on NTA News 24. We'll take another break. More news when we return.